Alright, good morning. How are you? You can hear the birds chirping because it's getting really early. It's like 5 o'clock. And today's book, this looks like, can't read it I'm sure, but it looks like Allerednic. But I call it Allerednic. Stay tuned for why. Okay, so why would a book that's spelled like Allerednic, not neck, but you want to say neck because of the red, but why would a book that is spelled like Allerednic be pronounced Allerednic? Well, I'll tell you. It's supposed to be British. And if the British can pronounce a name that looks like Beauchamp, Beecham, or St. John, St. John, I can have Allerednic be Allerednic. And so it is. Especially since it's supposed to be a spin on Cinderella. It's Cinderella in reverse. And that is a French, it's a French story originally. So we're going to go with that. We're going to have fun with it. And I'm going to tell you why my cat is going insane. I'm going to tell you all about Allerednic. Okay, this book actually was a short story in a class that I took with my kids. One of the editor for this book taught a class on writing short stories. It was a fabulous class. What she did is each kid wrote their short story, and then we compiled them all into a volume that we then published, and so they each got a copy of all of the short stories with theirs in it in a book as part of the class. It was fabulous. No, I did not put my short story in it, but and so I decided to take it with them because I had this idea, what would it be like if you used short stories as, you wrote a short story as your outline, and then you fleshed that short story out as the book. And so I wanted to try it, and I did. And this book, let me tell you, it's one of the hardest books I've ever written because there is it's historical, right? It takes place in Regency, England, which means lots of research. And thankfully, my editor is an expert. She's written great books. She wrote Emma from Knightley's perspective, and it's fabulous. It's actually better than Austen's. Shh, I didn't say that. It's amazing. You understand, when you get done with that, you really understand why Knightley fell in love with Emma. You understand what he sees in her. That I don't think, because of the changes in history and things, I don't think we can really understand as much as she does. She just does a fabulous job of showing it. I love it. That cat is really going insane. So anywho, so she knew when I got things wrong. I kept trying to make things more limited for the girls than it really was. I kept trying to put chaperones in places that they didn't require them because it was a very Victorian thing, and your mind automatically assumes that if the Victorians had to, they had to too. No, those are two different eras. And I got to learn all about that while I was writing this, right? And so it was fabulous. Just so you know, it's really warm because this is the desert and it is almost June. But anyhow, it was fascinating. I got to learn just amazing things. Like, for instance, I thought an earl's daughter would have a lot more limitations on her. But that she wouldn't be able to, if she made a mistake, a social faux pas or something, it would affect her much longer than, say, a farmer's daughter. I really thought a farmer's daughter would have a lot more freedoms, and people wouldn't really care if she broke some sort of social code, as long as it wasn't anything drastic, and yeah, I found out it was actually the reverse. An earl's daughter her position would actually give her some cover that I had no idea was actually possible. So there was all kinds of really cool things that I learned in there. I learned a lot about how the seasons worked and how things worked in London that I had no idea. It was fascinating. And she went over every single thing. They wouldn't say this word, they wouldn't do this, they would do this, they wouldn't, and when I got too formal in my speech. She'd be like, they wrote that way because it was considered acceptable, but they did speak with contractions, so use your contractions. I mean, all those little things. She really went over it. She was amazing. And this book actually has one of my favorite characters in it. Worley the valet he's probably one of my favorite characters of all time. I love this guy. And anyone who reads it, who knows me, will probably get why. Other people might be going, why do you like this weird butler so much? You know, he's not a butler, he's a valet. But, you know, why do you like this guy so much? It's just me. I just really like who he is. The Cinderella in reverse. Basically, you know, Cinderella, it's rags to riches. So obviously this is riches to rags of a sense, you know, to her. The people have said, well, but I finished the book and I don't get that from it. You know, it doesn't end that way. And I'm like, well, no, it doesn't, because Cinderella is also a fairy tale. So if we do it in reverse, we still have to keep that fairy tale ending because it's a fairy tale. And so I did. And I did it in a way that fits the era and it fits the story. And yet there is definitely the riches to rags element in here, which is what it was all about. So anywho, it's Allerednic. It will probably never be my favorite book, but I really do like it. What I love more, though, is that this was supposed to be a one-off. It was just a test to see about my little short story idea. But I was talking to my kids about Bullfinch's mythology one day, and bam, my brain just started exploding. There's a character in here, Amelia Bullfinch, and the hero in here is a Methodist, and which was not really done. It wasn't acceptable in country gentle circles. It was more radical for the aristocracy might accept it. They probably wouldn't be interested, but they wouldn't think much of it either. But the the country gentlemen, on the other hand, they were very traditional. And so here we've got this man who is a Methodist. And so no, that's not where this came from, but it made me think of something else, and I ended up with Bullfinch's methodology. And so now this book is going to have a sort of sequel. It'll have some of the same characters in it, but obviously it won't be about Jasper and Charlotte because, well, neither one of those is a Bullfinch. Amelia Bullfinch, on the other hand, is going to get center stage with a Methodist minister that she has got issues with. So it's going to be really cool. I can't wait to write that. So it turned into a series. That wasn't supposed to happen. Anywho, it's Allerednic. It's not Allerednic, it's Allerednic because I'm the author and I get to say so. I figure if the Brits can do it, so can I. Don't argue with me on that. Anyway, check it out. Let me know what you think. And you have a great week, alright? I'll see you later.